Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We are here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today we continue our tour of the American states. And we're heading from here over to Denver, Colorado. We're not going into Denver International, however. We're going into Denver Centennial, which is located a bit southwest. It's kind of a regional municipal airport in the Denver area. We're here, as mentioned, in Utah. Currently got a little bit of ATC up here at Salt Lake. We'll see if they're still up when we're ready to call them, but let's hop on board. See all the Delta aircraft out here. There's 11 departures on the board. There's us, one United, and the rest are all Deltas, so looks like we're in a Delta hub. There's 3 Deltas inbound, Southwest, looks like a couple others as well, so it is going to be a little bit busy, but it should be pretty good, and we'll see if other ATC comes online as we go. So let's hop on board. We can start getting the aircraft set up and ready to receive our passengers. 50 today, fully loaded as we head out towards Denver. All right, here we are. So we'll do our pre-flight checks, safety checks. Parking emergency brake is on, throttle levers are in flight, idle control lock is on, condition levers are in shut off, flaps are retracted and indicating retracted. Come up here to the batteries are off, wipers and windshield heater are off, circuit breakers have all been checked, they're up top and down on either side, and the oxygen quantity and masks have been checked as well. So ready for our pre-flight. We'll get the aircraft powered. The battery will come on, AC generator, DC generator is on, left and right batteries are now on, DC external power is on, and the bus tie is in the closed position. Popping up top, the flight data recorder is in normal and the ELT is now in auto. We'll get the lights set to the halfway point. I'm just going to watch that. Just like the definition it gives us when we're looking at the panel. There we go. So they're now set. Fuel handles are all pushed in for all 4 engines, and the fire and smoke warning tests have been completed. Moving down to the lower panel, windshield heat is off and the wipers are off. Airframe de-ice is off, pitot static heaters are off, and the propeller de-ice is off as well. Battery temperatures are coming up as they start to warm. That is good. Position lights will now go to the on position. Engine ignitions 1 through 4 are all on normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are all in the off position. Fuel transfer is off and tanks are closed. Quantities are checked on our fuel, that is all good. Engine start switch is off, and cabin pressurization is set to auto. Moving over to the right side, AC power external is turned off. The inverter is set for left bus. AC generators 1 through 4 are all off. Engine bleeds are all off for 1 through 4. Temperature controls, both cabin and flight compartment, are set to auto. We'll get the fasten seatbelt signs on, the no smoking signs on, and the emergency exit lights are now armed in the back. So we can start boarding our 50 passengers, and here they come. So moving down to the glare shield, the clocks are set. It is currently 13:34. And they are set on both sides. Flight taxi spoiler switch is set to taxi. GPWS is checked. Yaw damper is normal and guarded. Flight directors both come on. That is good. Back to standby. Landing and taxi lights are all off. PFCS is normal. Lights are out. Autopilot system configuration is set to captain. Caution and advisory lights. Caution lights are on. See up here, and advisory lights full panel is up, and we have the advisory lights up as well. Synchro phase is off, and anti-skid is now turned on. Coming down to the captain's side, we'll turn the lights up on the side panel here. Stall overspeed warnings are tested. They don't actually do anything, so that's fine. Flight instruments, let's get the current weather here in Salt Lake. We will grab the METAR and I'll throw it into the chat. So as you can see, winds are currently 210 at 8, gusting 15. We've been assigned actually runway 17, so that's fine. 10 miles of visibility, few clouds, 20,000 feet, 17 degrees out currently, and altimeter is 3015. We'll check that with the current ATIS as well, but we'll set 3015 in. We do have a bit of an elevation here, as you can see, over 4,200 feet for the airport, and we'll get 3015 dialed in over on Roger's side. And he is out doing the walk around, so we are good there. So the altimeters are set. DMEs, we'll turn them on. DME 1 will be on my side, and DME 2 will be on Roger's side. Compass is set to slave. Hydraulic quantities are checked, and we have brake pressure. Static source selector is set to normal. Over to the main panel, we have initial climb altitude. We have been assigned is 9,000 feet. And according to the SID we're on, which is the Salt Lake City 4, we're going to climb out at runway heading to 9,000 feet. We can expect vectors around some of the elevations until we get on our way. So altitude selector is set, prop auto feather test is set to off. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are all checked, and they are all looking good. Landing horn mute. It is good. Everything lights up and is showing the way it should. Pitch and roll disconnect levers are in and locked. Weather radar again in op. Transponder, we have a code we've been assigned 4122. So we'll set that. 4122 is set. And comms and nav. So for the nav, our first VOR is we're going to be flying outbound from the TCH
Hello,
VOR.
ladies and gentlemen, I would love to welcome you
And
aboard
that is
our
going to be
flight. When you find your
1168.
seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat
So
in front of
1168
you.
is set. The
Unless
next is
you're
the
in front row,
VEL
please
VOR
place
of
all of your items in
1082.
the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location
We'll get
for your
that
carry-on
dialed
items, please let a
There
flight
we go.
attendant know and we would be happy to
So
After you
1082
put your
will go
carry-on
into
items in the
nav
overhead
2.
bin and it is full, make sure you close it
The
as
next
a
one
courtesy
after
to
that
other
is the
passengers.
EKR
Also be sure
VOR.
that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way
1152.
other passengers can get by you.
And we
If you're
have
seated
no
in an emergency
FMS
exit row,
or
please review
anything
the
in
exit
here, so
seating
we are doing
responsibilities in the
VOR
safety chart
navigation
provided for you.
for today's flight. So
Please
that's
make
set
sure
up.
that you are able and willing to perform
The
these
initial
actions.
heading we're
If
going to
you're not,
want
please let a flight attendant know so that way you can
outbound
use
is going to be
Now's the
a
time to
heading
get
of
out any
88
last-minute
degrees.
text messages if you need to, but we ask that once we depart from the gate, you put away any
So
laptop
we'll dial
or
that
tablet.
in.
Thank you, and welcome aboard.
And while we're here, we are going to dial in our heading indicator to our rough runway heading, and according to the departure, is going to be a heading of 163 degrees. So we'll get that cranking around as well. That's almost the direction we're heading we're facing at the moment. So it's going to be about there. We'll line that up finally when we're on the runway. Okay, so flight instruments on the first officer side are all looking good. We've set the altimeter. The royal spoil press switch is normal and guarded. That's up to the top there. We'll turn his lights up as well. There we go. And avionics cooling is set to auto. Coming down to the pedestal. Park and brake is still on. Throttles are still flight idle. Control lock is engaged. Condition levers are in fuel shut off. Flaps are up and indicating up. Flight idle gate is closed and the light is on. Autopilot and yaw dampers are both off. And trims are set for takeoff. We can scrunch down and we can see our trim right there. So we're in the takeoff zone. So we're good for our clearance. We do have our pre-departure clearance here. Call sign Allegheny 32. Departure from here at KSLC heading to KAPA. Route is through the TCH VOR to the VEL, EKR, RLG, and then the airport. Cruise altitude is 17,000 feet, squawking 4122. Remarks were cleared on the Salt Lake 4 departure. We're going to maintain 9,000 feet, expect 17,000 feet 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 122.8, and we're going to expect runway 17. So for our radios, we're going to go 122.8 in there. And we're going to go 121.5 on COM 2, that's guard channel. It's 125. And we're going to set ground frequency now of 123.775. There we are. 123.775, that is Seattle ground. Sorry, 775. There we go. All right. Sounds like everybody is now on board.
Now.
So we're pretty much ready for engine start. So we're going to come around to the back of the aircraft, make sure the door is closed. Come back up front, do a quick check around, make sure everything is clear around us.
Salt Lake City traffic
We are looking
3 is taking off on way at 16 left, departing
welcome
to
aboard
the
flight
east.
32,
Salt Lake
service
traffic.
to Denver. Our flight time will be
Okay, still on ground.
1 hour.
So
and
takeoff
28
guided speeds are
Now that the
checked.
cabin
We're going to be
door is closed,
rotating
all
at
devices are in
95
airplane mode,
knots.
and your large
Doors and
devices
windows
are
are
now
closed.
shut down and
Anti-collision
stowed.
light will now
Please
go
fasten
on
your
to
seatbelt and
red.
ensure that all tray
Parking
tables,
brake
safety
is
factor,
on
and a
and
full upright
pressure
lock
is
position
checked.
for departure. Cabin crew,
Power
air
levers are
doors
flight
protected,
idle. Fuel control
cross-check,
switches are
verify
shut off.
straps, and
DC
stand by for
generators
all.
are all coming online. So there's all 4 DC generators are now on. So we're good for engine start. We'll contact ground and let them know we are ready to start. We are currently sitting on the Charlie hard stand.
Delta 1301, you can switch over to advisory 119.05. Have a good trip.
Over to CTAF 119.05. Thanks for traffic this morning, Delta 1301.
Yeah.
See ya.
And Salt Lake City ground, good afternoon. Allegheny 32 sitting on the Charlie hard stands. We're ready for engine start.
Allegheny 32, startup is approved. Call me for taxi short of Echo on Foxtrot 3.
Roger, we will give you a call for taxi on short of Echo on Foxtrot 3 for Allegheny 32. All right, so we are ready to start up.
Allegheny 32.
Oh, come on. Yeah, Roger, Allegheny 32. We'll contact you for taxi on Foxtrot 3 short of Echo. Sorry, I had a little connection problem with my cable.
All right.
All right, so we are good for engine start. We're going to be starting up in order. Hey, Jayhog. Yep, doing good, doing well. Everything is good. Good to hear from you. So we're going to be starting up engine 3 first. So we're going to go select engine number 3, and let's get her going. All right, we can hear her starting to come up. Engine 3 is rotating. And we are up into the green. There goes that delta. Adding fuel. So we're going to taxi around. And we're going to pull around to here. And this is Echo. And once we get around to this point, we'll call them for our taxi out to the runway.
Lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest...
All right, we are good
fasten in
on
case of unexpected
engine
turbulence.
3.
There are several emergency exits on this
Starting
aircraft.
engine 4.
Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind.
Delta 779, if you want to go around, you can use one west south.
Towards the exit. In the event of a
There we go.
decompression,
Adding
not
fuel.
all
This is
staff
company traffic. He's flying with us, so we'll wait. 779, thank you.
Place it firmly over your nose
Engine
and mouth.
4 is
Secure the
spooling.
elastic band behind your head. Tighten the straps if necessary, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires
next to the ground, Delta 1378, just push from Alpha 33 onto Joyce South, facing east, looking for 16 left.
And there we go. We are good there.
Is that Delta 1383?
Start off coming over to engine 2 and cranking.
Slip it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the
Say again for Delta 1383.
Blade rotation.
To replace the vest, pull firmly on the
Yeah, Delta 1383, squawk 4042, please.
Under the green.
You may blow into the mouth.
4042 in the box.
Adding fuel.
Slip with a whistle and a light. If you need to, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary breathing device.
There we got burn off there.
Aircraft as soon as possible and leave your belongings. Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode, and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time. Please securely stow your personal items.
Delta 2024, all here static.
Alright, and we are up into the green.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking
Start
flight. Tampering with,
is
disabling, or
off.
destroying
Switching
the
to engine
smoke
number
detectors
1.
located in the
Starting
laboratory
engine 1.
is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us.
Delta 1383, I see you now. Runway 16 left.
There we go.
You can taxi via to Hotel 6 Hotel.
16 left, hotel.
This is going to send us to 17, so we're going to have a bit of a taxi to get over there. You might change that though, but that's fine. Alright, that is all 4 engines up and running. Start off and select switch to the off position. Moving on to our after engine start checklist. Parking and emergency brakes are set, and on start selector is off. DC external power is now off. DC volts and load are checked. Battery temperature is checked. AC generators are coming on for all 4 engines. And engine bleeds, let's pop over here so we can see it, are all coming on to low bleed as well.
Delta 204.
Moving down to the main section here.
Exit runway 16 right via Alpha
Flight
5
directors
Alpha.
are now on both sides. PFCS lights are out.
16
Auto
right
feather
at the,
is cell
Alpha
green.
5 Alpha Delta
Engine
204.
intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are all looking good. Hydraulic quantities and pressures are checked. Weather radar is non-functional. Flaps 15 for departure. Trim is set. Flight controls. A quick check. It's left, right, and rudders are good. And we can see our indicators there showing them as well.
The 2024 is just static.
Yaw damper is now on. De-ice pressure is checked over on the FO side. Condition levers, engines 1 and 4 are now going up to maximum RPM for taxi. Steering is good. Taxi light will now come on. And we are going to taxi around. And once we're up there to Echo on Foxtrot 3, we will give them a call. We are under movement control here though, so we are going to turn on the transponder. There we go.
Ground Delta 239, ready to taxi short of Bravo with Lima.
Brakes are released.
Thank you for Lima. Taxi runway 16 right via Alpha 5 Alpha.
16 right by Alpha 5 Alpha, Delta 239.
Alright, so we're going to move off the stand here.
Delta 204, do you have Lima on board?
Cabin is secure. Ready for departure.
Cabin is ready. Current ATIS is
Delta 1383, do you
Lima?
have Lima on board?
We've got Lima, Delta 13.
There's Foxtrot 3 right there.
Delta 204, same for you.
Oh, go ahead, Delta 204, sorry about that.
You have Lima on board?
Information Lima, Delta 204.
Thank you.
Alright, and here is Echo.
Yeah, Delta 2024, I see you keep queuing up there, but nothing's coming out. Delta 779, can you let them know?
Alright, we get the parking brake on. Make sure the engines are in
Yeah, we did, let's see what
flight idle.
You might need to switch to tax or something. 779.
Ask him if he can hear me. Delta 2024, if you can hear me, ident.
And we will get our taxi instructions here. Just let them figure out what's going on there. Hey,
Delta
Kevin!
2024, confirm that you
How's it
want
going?
Requesting taxi to 16, right? Delta 2024, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha 4 Alpha.
The DDC did say he was going to give me 17, but we'll see what he actually gives us here.
I can hear you now, thank you. And Delta 2024, confirm your information, Lima over.
Information Lima is on board Delta 2024.
Delta 779, you have information, Lima?
Yeah, that's 779 on
A bunch of Deltas getting ready to go.
Holy short Bravo with information Lima ready to go as well.
Delta 779, runway 16 right, taxi via
Kevin, doing
Alpha
good.
4
Been
Alpha.
getting in
Ahead.
some of these Dash-7 flights,
Alpha
seeing
4
some
Alpha,
great
full traffic,
southwestern scenery in the U.S. And getting ready to leave on Friday. So.
Allegheny 32, you ready to go?
Yeah, Roger, we're ready to go, and we have Lima as well. Ah, come on, Mike. Allegheny 32 is ready to go. We have Lima as well. I need a new cable for my...
Allegheny 32, would you like 16
Yep.
right?
Roger, we can do 16 right.
Okay, Allegheny 32, taxi runway 16 right via Foxtrot Alpha.
16 right via Foxtrot Alpha, Allegheny 32. All right. So we're going to taxi down for
Delta
16
2024,
right.
give way to the propeller plane short of Foxtrot.
Propeller plane?
Give way to the fourth line on Foxtrot Alpha Delta 2024.
Oh, he said Foxtrot. I'm on Echo. Oops.
Ground, this is 357 Juliet Kilo. We're going to cancel our clearance.
I'm on the wrong one. Yeah.
Additional aircraft looks like departure's coming online here, so just wait for my handoff to him.
It's coming up fast, yeah. A little bit quicker than I thought it was going to, and but we're here and heading out on Friday. Okay, so we want Alpha. This is Bravo coming up.
Delta 1383, contact Salt Lake on 128.1.
128.1 will be the next frequency.
Salt Lake 1281 for Delta 1383, good day.
Is Alpha.
Good day.
Checking for traffic.
Delta 204, same for you, contact Salt Lake.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
128.1.
All right, let me get
128.1 for Salt Lake.
that dialed in.
Delta 204.
128. Ah! Pay attention. I gotta zoom out a little bit so I can see. 1281.
Salt Lake Ground, Delta 2021 is short of Charlie to the south information Lima, request taxi.
Delta 2021, runway 16 right, taxi by Alpha 5 Alpha.
16 right, Alpha 5 Alpha, Delta 2021.
Delta 239, contact Salt Lake on 128.1.
That's 1281.
28.1 Delta 239. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I know. I really should. You've got one, don't you? Which one are you using? Throttles. Don't want to go into disconnect. That's kind of almost non-beta beta. I went on the website for Honeycomb to see if I could order a replacement cable. All of their stuff is sold out since they're having all those problems. You got the Logitech one? Yeah. So I'm gonna head to the computer place and see if they've got a replacement there that would work.
32, contact Salt Lake now 128.1.
128.1 for Allegheny 32. Thanks for the ATC. See ya.
First runner 16 right, line up away.
Line up away at 16 right, Delta 239.
Oh, there it goes. It's that
204 radar contact altitude.
that damn connection.
Delta
Issue
204
with it.
climbing 4,000.
Delta 204, proceed direct Bubby. Correction, proceed direct Hopdale, resume normal speed, climb maintain level 230.
One more time for that waypoint, sir.
Delta 204, proceed direct Hopdale, resume normal speed, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Rep at Hopco, climb maintain 230, Delta 204.
All right, so before takeoff, so windshield heat is going to warm up. Pedostatics will all go on.
Delta 239, flighting 160, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
Flighting 160.
Engine bleeds are fine.
16 right,
Ignition
take off Delta
is
239.
in normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps are all coming on. Flight taxi switch is going to flight. Auto feather is cell arm.
Delta 2024, Salt Lake, roger.
Control X release condition levers. All engines are up to maximum RPM. Flaps set
Delta
for
1383,
15
start
for
your turn, radar
non-flight controls
contact
are good.
altitude.
Elevator trim is good. Caution lights are clear. Cabin is good. Transponder is already on. Weather radar is good. Landing lights going on. Anti-collision light is set to white. And strobe lights are now on.
Starting turn.
Alright, Delta 1383, you can't turn anymore, flighting 160.
Climbing 160, Delta 1383.
Salt Lake departure, Allegheny 32, holding short, 16 right at Alpha 11, ready to go.
Allegheny 32, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff, Salt Lake City approach.
Roger, clear for takeoff, runway 16 right, Allegheny 32.
Delta 1383, the original instruction was to turn right, heading 280. You're turning left, but I need you to turn right, please. Right turn, no delay, heading 160.
Right 160, no delay. Delta 1383.
Delta 239, radar contact altitude.
Passing 5,800 feet, Delta 239.
Delta 239, proceed direct Hopdale, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Alright, we are lined up and ready to go. So engines coming
climb flight level 230, Delta
up, brakes
239.
are set, all 4 condition levers are set to full.
Hello, any 32, are you rolling?
Takes a minute in this thing. Roger, Allegheny 32 is now rolling.
Delta 2024, runway 16 right, line up away.
Line up and wait.
Takeoff power is set. Jeez. Give me a minute. There we go. 90 knots. Running back pressure for rotation. And away we go. Positive rate. Gear up.
Delta 239, if I didn't give it to you already, climb and maintain flight level 230.
You did flight level 230, 239.
A little bit of trimming here. Salt Lake approach, Allegheny 32 is through 4,900.
Delta 2024, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Flaps up.
Delta 239, I need you no delay through 10,000, please.
Climbing through 10,000 now, Delta 239.
Salt Lake Delta 779, only short Alpha 11.
Delta 779, Salt Lake City approach, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Traffic
Autopilot
Airbus
is on,
320 on the roll,
heading
report to traffic
and
inside.
vertical speed.
Line up and wait,
Actually,
16
go
right, we got
indicated
traffic
airspeed.
inside. 779.
Delta 1383, turn right, heading 280.
Right 280, Delta 1383.
Alright, we're gonna set climb.
Delta 779, maintain visual separation from the 8th Bus 320, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
16 right, clear for takeoff, we'll maintain separation with the traffic. 779.
Coming down on the engines, coming down on the props.
Delta 1383, you need to be maintaining 9,000. Descend and maintain 9,000 immediately for traffic.
Down to 9,000,
And
Delta
up to
1383. I
4,400.
heard I'm 160 earlier, my bad.
There we go. We're in climb power. Flaps are fully retracted.
Delta 239 traffic, 11 o'clock, 4 miles southbound. Airbus 320, 1000 should be descending now down to 9,000.
It's a little bit busy in the area here.
Delta 239, have one take us.
Delta 239, roger. Just expedite your climb through 12,000, please. Climbing tank level 230.
Alright, so climb power is set, landing gear is up, flaps are up.
Expediting to the
Engine
climb,
intake
flight level
deflectors are
230,
retracted.
Delta 239.
Delta 1385,
Flight
turn right,
idle gate
heading
is
310.
in, light is off, taxi light is off.
Delta 1383, turn right, heading 310.
Fuel pumps are off.
Right 310, Delta
Engine blades
1383.
are low, cabin pressure is fine.
Delta 204, frequency change approved, good flight.
Altimeter we won't be
Over to the
changing,
top,
10,000 feet,
have a
we'll
good
do the
afternoon.
lights and the back. But we're going to be down on the mountains.
Delta 2024
we'll be
traffic,
keeping
12
the,
o'clock, and 3 miles southbound, a DC-7 at 9,000.
We have the traffic inside Delta 2024.
Delta 2224, amend altitude, maintain 8,500.
Alright, let's see how he gets me out of the mountains here.
Maintaining 8,500 Delta 2024.
Not sure what his plan is.
Delta 779, radar contact altitude.
5,500 feet, Delta 779.
Delta 779, roger, climb and maintain flight level 230, resume normal speed.
230, resume normal speed, 779.
Delta 1383, climb and maintain flight level 230.
230 for Delta 1383.
DC-7, is that what he said? Oh, I thought he said Dash-7. I like the ground controller, the propeller plane.
Over 32, climb and maintain 15,000.
Climb and maintain 15,000. Climb and maintain 15,000, Allegheny 32. Alright, so let's get this going up.
Delta 1383, Clitoric, Bubby.
Alright, we're gonna go to vertical speed mode, and we'll
Direct Bubby, Delta 1383.
start climbing out at about 1,000 feet per minute. There we go.
Salt Lake approach, Delta 2142, number 2 on Alpha.
Delta 2021, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
What's the clear for takeoff, Delta 2021, thanks.
Delta 2042, Salt Lake City approach, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
16 right, line up and wait, Delta 2142.
Delta 1383, climb maintain.
I don't know why they insist on using approach when obviously all the aircraft are departing. I mean, there's supposed to be departure as well, right?
Delta 779 traffic, 12 o'clock, 7 miles southbound, the DC-7 out of 9,800.
There he is, DC-7. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Landing lights will come off. Seatbelt signs will remain on. We are going to get some turbulence off of the hills here. It is a little
Delta
bit windy here.
2024, climb and maintain flight level 230.
A lot more windy over at Denver as well. There's a wind warning up.
Climbing to 230.
Let's see how that one is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatory.
This, of course, is the way we came in yesterday. I've heard them called radar or control or terminal. Although terminal
Delta
is something
239,
else.
frequency change approved, good flight.
Frequency change approved, Delta 239, good afternoon.
Delta 2024, climb and maintain flight level 230, resume normal speed. Delta 779, turn left 20 degrees, vectors for traffic.
Did you say come left 20 degrees, 779?
Yeah, there's traffic at your 12 o'clock, 3 miles southbound at DC-7 at 1000. Do you have the traffic in sight?
Yeah, we got it inside.
Okay, maintain visual separation, climb and maintain flight level 230.
230 will maintain separation, 779.
Delta 2024, climb and maintain flight level 230. I haven't gotten a read back yet.
But I told you, Delta 2024, climb and 5 level.
There he is there,
Alright, thank you.
climbing up.
Delta 2142, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
16 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 2142.
Things are coming along well.
Delta 2021, radar contact altitude.
So we got 13,300 foot
Delta 2021,
MSA
climb and
over
maintain
here.
flight level 230, proceed direct top down, resume normal speed.
Climb maintain 230, direct hop to resume normal speed, Delta 27.
Hopefully he'll
Delta 2024, you can resume
give
normal
us
speed.
direct to the
What's
the actual name of it? The Vernal VOR is our first VOR that we want to get to.
Like Delta 779, we are down to 250.
We're not picking it up yet, though.
The traffic, we don't have Montegas anymore. I think we're above him. Should we resume normal speed or should we deviate from the plan?
Delta 779, just continue to climb. The traffic is no factor at this point. He is below you at 12,000. 13,000.
Copy. We'll continue to climb flight level 230. Traffic is no factor. 779.
Oh, 2142, radar contact altitude.
We're passing 5,500, Delta 2142.
Elevera 32, are you able to direct to Vernal?
Elevera. Yeah, Allegheny 32, we can direct Vernal.
Allegheny 32, turn left. Stand by. Allegheny 32, turn left heading 080 and proceed direct to Vernal when able.
Roger, left turn 080, proceed direct when able to Vernal for Allegheny 32. Okay, so 080. Yeah.
Delta 2024,
I mean, this isn't,
speed.
what he's done now isn't bad.
Speed is 220.
He's giving us a,
220 and Griffin.
you know, head this direction, and when the VOR comes in, you can head off on the radio. Aloe vera. I know. Like, come on. I even put in my my flight plan that the call sign is Allegheny. It's because my call letters are ALO, right? Aloe. Anyway, Salt Lake City. I mean, the Great Salt Lake. See you later. We're on our way to Denver. He's cleared us to 15 17,000. We're gonna go up to 17, but we'll wait and see if he gives us higher or if he's just gonna kick us loose.
Delta 1383, frequency change approved.
What's advisory, Delta
360 will be our fuel burn at 17,000. Yeah. I mean, I've already got the radial set up.
Delta 2142, Clitoric, top tail, climb maintain level 230.
The outbound from Salt Lake, which is showing here.
Level 230,
So
2142.
it's going to be roughly that when it comes in, but it's not coming in yet. That's over here on nav 2, and it's not reading yet. So should
779 traffic, 12 o'clock, less than 3 miles.
switch those over. Forgot to
Southbound,
set them to
Airbus
VOR.
320 out of flight level 210.
We got the traffic on CCAS 779.
779, frequency change approved, good flight.
Thank you so much for the ATC.
So that's
over
us
to
level
Honeycomb,
at
779. Have a good one.
13
Delta
or 50,000.
2024, frequency change approved, good flight.
I'm just listening for the 32,
Thank you very much for the ATC Delta 2024, level 2 Honeycomb.
whatever he calls me.
Delta 2021, frequency change approved, good flight.
Frequency change approved, Delta 2021, thanks for the ATC.
Delta 2124, proceed right top though, climb maintain flight level 230, zoom normal speed.
So let me be over to 22.8.
And is that for Delta 2142?
Affirmative, proceed right top though, resume normal speed, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Our stream's a little frozen right now, but we are going to be direct top toe and climb maintain 230, normal speed Delta 2142.
Alivero, correction, Allegheny, 32, climb maintain 17,000.
Climb and maintain 17,000, Allegheny 32. I corrected it that time. That was nice of him. Alright, up we go. Let's, there we go, climbing up to our cruise. A little close to the mountains. I mean, the punters are getting a nice view out the windows. It's pretty good. We're kind of back on course now. Two is what it should be. 108.2, and it might be hidden by the mountains, and it is a low power, so we're gonna have to be close to it by the time we get onto it. So we'll just carry on this way for a while. 1,000 to go. You need to edit an Alivera on delivery. Yeah, an aloe plant. So, Kev, next week you're going to see some Chinook videos, so you can get a look at it. It's a lot of fun. Done some of the updates. I've done some positioning flights for the tour that's coming with it. I did my intro with it. I'm getting better at flying it, and started playing around with some of the missions that come with it.
Approved, good day.
Frequency change approved, thanks for the help today. Delta 2142.
Yeah. Delta 2021, frequency change approved, good day. Allegheny 32, frequency change approved, good day.
Roger, frequency change approved for Allegheny 32. See ya. All right, 122.8. We are coming up to our cruise leveling off, so we can get our cruise power set. So the engines or the props, we're gonna just slightly tweak back until they're madly vibrating at 107. There we go. And we'll come down here and look at our fuel. Let's get our head-on view here.
Solid traffic, Delta 2142, passing 13,000.
So we're now going to slide back. We want 360, so we're currently sitting about 380. So we'll bring them back slightly. There's 360 on all 4 engines. So cruise power is now set. And we're chugging along. We currently have a ground speed of 238 knots, so we're getting a good push out of the back. So Kevin, we went from highs of 12, 13 degrees and sunshine and everything about a week and a half ago to the last couple days here have been 2 or 3 heavy rains, extremely high winds yesterday. All day long it was just howling out there, almost like horizontal rain. It's been raining all day. It's supposed to rain through till tomorrow. Temperatures are going into the minuses, and we may get snow overnight tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm looking forward to heading south on Friday. Only problem is I've got one of those god-awful early morning flights, so I gotta get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go. Everything is looking good. We're kind of stable in cruise. My flight's at 6 a.m. And of course, not only do we got to check in and everything, which isn't that bad at Toronto, unless you're doing some ridiculous holiday type of flight, but got to clear U.S. Customs up here as well, and that can take a little bit of time. I've had long lineups. And I've had shorter ones, but I usually bank on 30 minutes or so to get through the line and then get cleared at customs. But the other issue is, actually I don't know when it opens, is almost nothing's open in the airport at that time of morning. When they open. Okay. The lounge opens at 4:45. Might be able to grab a coffee before heading out. Are you using any pedals equipment? Yes, I am. I have the Honeycomb Alpha Yoke. I have the Honeycomb Bravo Throttle Quadrant and the Thrustmaster Pendulum what are they, TPR rudder pedals. So lots of flight controls. Also have multiple monitors up with various other bits of software assisting with the flight, including Navigraph charts and stuff like that. And then, of course, all the streaming stuff. Yeah, and that's in the lounge opens up at 4:45. I don't know when. Like, I don't even know if the coffee shops are open before that. The problem is I go early because I feel I'm gonna be delayed, and then there's no lineups, and I'm inside and everything's shut, and I'm kind of screwed a bit, but we'll see. There's the high mountain ranges to the east of Salt Lake City. Passing over now. So looking ahead, there's no ATC up. We're not, as I mentioned, we're not flying into Denver International. We're flying into Denver Centennial Airport, which is just southwest of Denver itself. It's a municipal regional airport that we're flying into. Yeah. That's true. I know when I fly home, I'm flying back out of San Diego, and there's, I think, two direct flights out of San Diego, and then a bunch of connecting flights. And I know for the connectors, they use United. So if you're going up to like Vancouver or something, you'd go United to Vancouver, and then Air Canada from Vancouver to Toronto. But I'm flying direct out at noon, and I mean, they don't open a check until 10 o'clock, so it's there's not a lot of time to spend in that airport, and it's not a big airport in San Diego. It's only one runway, but it was nice coming in over the town when we arrived. It was very atmospheric with weather and clouds and storm stuff and all that. It made for a very interesting approach, and we came in over the ocean, landing to the east, so it was very cool. Alright, let's get some tunes going in the background. Need a new mouse too. I'm getting connection issues with this one. Been using it too much. Let's go with some R&B. There we go. I have. Can't remember if you were with me or not, but yeah, we've flown down to San Diego. I think Nick and I actually did a shared cockpit flight in the A320 from LA or San Francisco, I can't remember, but I think we flew into San Diego. But I flew in there, in and out for real. It was, when was that? February I went down there. So that was pretty cool. Got to see what that was like, and with the airport being right into town there, right along the water, it was pretty neat. The other cool thing was right on the other side of the highway along the water, at the water's edge, is the U.S. Coast Guard. So we're seeing the Coast Guard helicopters taking off out of there. And then you've got the Navy on Coronado Island. So saw a lot of Marine Corps Apache gunships and Black Hawks, and saw some F-18s fly in there. One day they were flying in and landing there, so a lot of helicopters flying out of there. And we could see that when I went out on a whale watching ship, we circled around the island and went right by the hangars where all the helicopters are. God, there must have been like 50 Black Hawks sitting there. And then there was a bunch of Sea Stallions in another part, which I could see. Those are impressive choppers. Massive beasts. Alright, everything is looking good. Fuel burn is good. Got like almost 4 hours of fuel in the center tanks. So we're kind of going to leave the mountains a little bit, and we'll be heading towards some flatter ground where Denver is, but we still got a few more mountain ranges to go through. So the next VOR, the EKR, is that a high power? It is a high power. Alright, we're going to tweak our course a little bit more towards the VOR. Still waiting for it to come in. Probably not going to get it until about 35 miles away. So they rolled back the flight model on this airplane from in version 1.5, which was a bit broken. And then they went back to the previous version, which is fine, although it does seem a little bit better. But they've broken a couple other things. The flap animations are broken, and we got the jittering gauges up here, which they shouldn't be doing that. So we'll have to see if they get around to fixing all that stuff. We're still kind of dead there on Nav 2 right now. Still pick up Nav 1. That's the Salt Lake City VOR. Yeah, there is a lot of them there. Didn't get to see any of the SEALs training. That's their West Coast training facility, but didn't see them, even though I spent an afternoon on the island. Alright, so we're kind of paralleling this bit of mountain here. It goes flat, but there is another mountain range we're going to fly over before we get down into out of the Rockies and into Colorado proper in the Denver area. We're now heading up towards the Vernal VOR. Again, it is low power. Oh, just kicked in. There we go. So let's come in here. We will dial around, see if we can pick up the radial. It's not that way. Confirm the frequency 1082. And 1082. Slide over here. See, this says we're pointing towards it, and this has us heading out the other direction. There's 1082. There we go. Oh, that's why. There we go, over to nav. So we're now captured on the VOR. We'll switch over here. We'll put in the next one, which is the 11520. That is the EKR VOR, which is the Meeker. High altitude, and we're already picking it up. So that is fine. So 1152. Dial that one in. 1152, and after that will be the Romeo Lima Golf of 1138. Just trying to see if I can see there. That's a 4. There's 1138 is set up, and the standby there. All right, so we're inbound for the Vernal. RLG is, let's see if I get the name of it. Kremling VOR. And we're going to fly outbound on that to the airport. There is no VOR. There's the Denver VOR at Denver, but there's no VOR around KAPA. So we're going to use the RLG, which is, hopefully it is a high power, so we'll have that all the way down. And we're going to set up with that for our landing. All right, so current weather conditions down at, the winds have dropped, thankfully. They were pretty blustery earlier. We're down to 7 knots at 330, 10 miles of visibility. No clouds, really, just a few at 10,000 feet. And the airport is basically north and south runway. So we're going to be landing on runway 35 right. And that is 10,000 feet. We could go 35 left at 7,000, but we'll use 35 right. I'm just going to check and see how busy it is. No departures, and we're the only arriving aircraft. So we'll go 35 right for our arrival into Denver Centennial. Yeah, but it's not spelled that way. It is spelled it's Kremling, Kremmling. Not Kremlin. All right, so we're gonna go 35 right. We're going to change our runway to 35 right. We're going to add it to our route. We're going to go for the approaches. We can do the ILS on, yeah, there's an ILS for 35 right. There's only enough RNAV for one. Interesting. There are no approaches on the other side. So we're going to do, yeah, 35 right ILS. That is now entered in. Alright, we got a 9,000 foot at Furpy as our initial. We'll come down along the edge of the mountains and around. So we get another nice view of the mountains as we circle around, coming into that airport just outside Denver. A bit far from Russia. Well, hopefully. Although you listen to some of those idiots over there, they're talking about, oh, we want to take over all the Russian territory we lost, like with the Ukraine, and they want to take back Alaska and all that stuff. Bunch of idiots. All right, we're 20 miles out from the first VOR. Our heading lined up. So how's things in school going, Kevin? A little bit of rudder pressure going, I guess. Well, let's check our winds. So the winds are pretty much going to be tailwind all the way. We're currently sitting about 25 knots tailwind. So we're going to be getting a good push. We're doing a 241 ground speed right now, so we are pretty good there. If I come in and take a look at our radar for storm action, there's nothing. We are good there. Let's change our altitude to 17,000 feet. Barbs. Yeah, it's gonna be a tailwind all the way. Introductory language course. Waiting for them to sign off. My modules that I'll be studying. Ah, cool. So we're almost crossing into Denver airspace. Unfortunately, no ATC up. We can see the mountains in the distance there and some of the clouds over them. A nice flight here. 229 miles to go. So this is ground speed. We're just over an hour away from arriving. Everything is looking good. 9.5 miles. We're going to go into heading mode. We'll switch over to the VOR to the next one. We're then going to dial in our heading that we're going to want, which is going to be 94 degrees. There we go. 94 degrees is set. We're going to come over and switch over to the next one here, which is the RLG VOR, which we're not picking up yet. That's fine. And that will be our indicator for outbound. We'll self-vector for the arrival. We're just waiting on the radial to come in. Since we can read it all the way out here, we might as well fly directly to it instead of flying off of the other one. It's nice getting some commuter flights in. So we're getting in close. Probably just crossing over that line, so I'm just going to tweak over. And here's nav mode. We're going to head out towards the next VOR. The aircraft settle in. So let's do a check on everything. So torque is looking good, propeller RPMs are good, turbine gas temperatures are good. Outdoor temperature is minus 13. Fuel flow or NG temperatures and pressures are good. Fuel flow is good. Oil temperatures, pressures, hydraulics are all looking good. And moving up top, no caution lights. Fuel is good, and everything is where it should be.
Hey, can we get an attendant to the cockpit for a restroom break?
Not a problem.
Too much coffee this morning. Gotta use the teeny tiny little bathroom on board the airplane. 77 miles out. We are looking good. Let's get our heading tuned in. So long before we get to the next VOR, the one following should pop up. So I'm not too worried about that. They're both high power.
From the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We hope you're enjoying your flight. We're making good progress here, and we're doing our best to get you in on time.
240 knot ground speed on a 200 knot calculation for arrival. We are making very good time. There's the next VOR just kind of kicked in, so we're looking good there. That one's 149 miles away. So on the approach, we got to get down to a altitude of 9,000 feet by Furpy. So that's going to be an 8,000 foot descent, 5 miles per thousand. We can work that out to 8 times 5 is 40. We'll add 15, so that's 55. So about 55 miles out, we'll start down towards our Furpy, and that is actually going to be roughly about 30 miles or so out of the RLG VOR, but we're going to have to watch our altitudes because we do have some restrictions. There's a 14.7 restriction that we're going to be passing through, so we've got to watch the mountains as we come down. There you go. And it's not a full-size water bottle. It's the tiny little 2-inch high one. So we're pretty quiet. Denver's a pretty busy area right now. There is a lot of aircraft kicking around. There's a few heading in there and a bunch passing by, a few taking off out of there. But again, nobody going into Denver Centennial except for us, which is fine. We're now into Denver airspace, by the way. We crossed over the transition area between them. Just so when we come back on the 26th of April, I believe, is the next one. We will be flying here from Denver down to Santa Fe, New Mexico. So that will be a nice flight heading south when we come back. Oh, and Lufthansa, they were handing it out? Well, that's all right. I take it you were sitting in the back of the plane? It's nice that they still do that sometimes. Although I guess with the big legacy carriers, you've got a better chance of getting them. $56 miles to go. First Officer Molly is asleep watching the door. Let's hope she's able to stay there for the rest of the flight. Because once we're on the ground and we're done, it is her dinner time. Rocking a little bit in the turbulence. Definitely still got the mechanical turbulence of the winds coming off and bouncing around the mountains. Not going to be dealing too much with heat turbulence yet, or thermal. We're still a little bit cool for that, but mechanical, definitely. Iberia, that's Spain, right? Figure Aer Lingus would be handing out Guinness. And then if you're up in business class, you get some Jamesons or Bushmills. And we are making good speed here. Charging for carry-on now. You know, and that's the whole thing, right? People complained about how expensive it was to fly. Really, when you think about what you're doing, it's not that expensive. And they wanted, you know, oh, make it cheap so we can go. So they figure out how to make it cheap, which is basically strip away all the extra stuff, lower the cost down, and then people complain, oh, well, we can't take this, we can't take that, you know, we don't get any service on board. Well, you don't want to pay for it. Which is kind of like with, even with Air Canada, if, you know, there's cheaper options, but you know, I like having the IFE. I like having a little bit of availability of stuff on board. And plus, being part of the points program, I got some longer flights coming up over the next year. So it's nice having the points to be able to do it in more comfortable seating and not have to pay a fortune to do it. We are looking good. Right, 37 miles out. Tracking nicely, heading due east. Rocking around going on. It's not too bad. I don't have the turbulence turned all the way up. I think I got it set on medium. Medium or moderate. I can't remember what it is. Still just Salt Lake ground and approach online, and at Denver we got ground and tower online, but no approach. Approach would be nice. They'd bring us in and vector us down for where we're heading. Yeah. Never flew Pan Am. I did fly TWA once. I don't know if I told you that story. I flew TWA from Toronto to Los Angeles, but it had to stop in St. Louis, because I think St. Louis was a TWA hub. So we left Toronto. I can't remember the type of aircraft it was, but we left Toronto, had a window seat, and I noticed after a while that we'd gone into a hole, and sure enough, the pilot came on and said, know, there is a severe thunderstorm sitting right over St. Louis, and it ain't moving. It's sitting right over the airport. So they're gonna have to land because the airport's closed. There's all kinds of micro downbursts, heavy water, and everything. So we ended up landing in Gary, Indiana, and we couldn't get off the airplane because they didn't have the equipment to, you know, they didn't have the stairs and stuff. So basically they opened the doors and just let the air breeze through it. We were there for 6 hours until they got a notice that we could take off and we'd be slotted in. And then when we got into St. Louis, found it, there was flooding everywhere. It was torrential. And of course, you get off the airplane and they're doing the announcements. You know, if you have missed a connecting flight, please see his customer service agent. The customer service booth for TWA, the lineup was massive. I must have been 2.5 hours standing in that line. And by the time I got in there, I was like 8.5 hours. I'd missed my connecting flight by 8.5 hours. So when I got up there, and of course the person working the counter, she was frazzled. And I just kind of laughed and gave her my boarding card for the next flight. And I said, I think I missed my flight. And she just looked at it and looked at me, and I just shrugged my shoulders, and I said, I don't know, what do you got? Like, what are we doing? Am I staying here overnight? Like, what's going on? And she managed to get me the last seat on the last plane out that night. So I got into LA that night a lot later than I should have. I was supposed to be there early afternoon. I think I got in about 10:30 at night. But it was interesting. Only TWA flight I ever did. I know my first 3 flights to the UK were all on BOAC. I don't remember my first one. I remember bits of my second one, and I fully remember my third one. But yeah, BOAC. Well, there wouldn't be lots of seats because it was weather. The airport shut down. I mean, it was like, there's nothing you can do. It's that act of God, out of our control thing. So, you know, and that's why I just laughed when I got up to her, because it was, I mean, it's like, you know, it is what it is. Hey, what do you want to do? So, that was an interesting trip down to LA. First time there. In fact, the only time there until I just went back in August. I think the worst flight I ever did, there was an organization, an airline here called Quebec Air. You can look it up. God, I flew them once and I said never again. But I was looking for cheap flights, right? Back in the day. And, what are we, 8 miles out. Okay, let's go into heading mode. We're going to want to switch over to the next VOR. And we're going to select 84 degrees. No, that's actually... That's not right. Is it? 1138 is what I want. Sorry. Let's dial it here. 1138. We're at the bottom of the list. Okay, 1138. There we go. That's it. All right, we're in there. So let's get get that in there. We'll go to nav and we'll head off to that one. So this is our final VOR. We're going to be heading off on that heading. And then when we get to RLG, we're going to turn 109 and then start self-vectoring from there. At that point, I'll switch over and enter in the ILS information. While they were flying, I think, if I remember right, the aircraft I flew over to London on, I had to fly Toronto to Montreal, Montreal to London. It was a stretch DC-8, I think. Let's see if I can look them up. Operated until 1986. Yeah, it was. I was in my younger days. I think I was in my very early 20s. Yeah, it was a DC-863 stretch Super DC-8 used for passenger charter service. So that was the flight, and we flew over to London from Montreal, and so this is the days back when there was one screen on the airplane for the in-flight entertainment, but this didn't have that, so there was no screen. There was also, it had in the headset, you had your music channels, so you could, channel 1 would be classical, channel 2 would be jazz, channel 3 would be easy listening, whatever. That didn't work. So I had and it was a bit slower too, so I had an 8-hour flight from Montreal to London. No in-flight entertainment, no music. Just basically staring out the windows. It was brutal. And it was noisy. Alright, 70 miles to go to RLG. My most interesting flight, the one that kicked off my interest in aviation, here's that mountain range coming up that we've got to cross over. And on the other side of this, we get into the Great Plains, leading out from Denver in Colorado. When I was 11, I was sent over for a month. The BOAC 747, and flew that to London. And then in London, I was taken to a BOAC business flight, London to Aberdeen. And it was in a Vickers Viscount, so a 4-engine turboprop. And it was not a repositioning, but it was kind of a midday flight up. So they flew a lot of people into London in the morning and out again in the evening, or a lot of people going out in the morning for business meetings and coming back in the evening. So the midday was really, really quiet. And we were on board. And it was me, 11 years old, and some guy, business guy, whatever, in a suit. And the flight crew, well, the first officer saw me when he walked through the cabin, and the captain ended up grabbing me, hauling me into the cockpit, and sat me in the jump seat, and I flew the entire flight in the cockpit, watching what they were doing and everything, which was a pretty awesome experience. Thing that sticks with me that I remember is somewhere, would have been up around here if you were in the Viscount, that a DME. And I remember staring at it as we were coming into Dice Airport in Aberdeen, and it was counting down. Of course, we're out over the North Sea because we were landing to the northwest. But it was counting down, and I was just amazed that there was instruments advanced enough to be able to tell how far away from like the airport you were. And that was pretty cool. That was a great flight. Yeah, that was painful. Although it's not the worst flight I've had. 5 hours in the back of a C-130 Hercules, trying to catch some sleep on a pallet of rations. That was cold and noisy. Alright, so we're 53 miles out from RLG. Yeah, so when I went to California that time, Los Angeles, I was going down, I was flying in a flight sims back then. This would have been in the late 90s, and we had an online World War II flight sim thing. I ran a squadron, Canadian Squadron, Flying Spitfires, Combat, the whole thing. And a bunch of the guys were from California, and they were all meeting up at the Chino Airport, and the Planes of Fame Museum was having a big air show. So I was free. I actually had holidays at that time from work. So I said, yeah, I'll come down and meet up with you guys. So we went to the air show that weekend and spent 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all World War II, mostly World War II stuff and classic airplanes and that, crawling all over them. It was amazing. But I took a ride in the back of a P-51, paid the big bucks, and went up for almost an hour in the back of the airplane, and that's what triggered me. This was in September, early September, and that January I started my my flight training for my license. Miles. There's the other ridge line, and I think we were somewhere in here. Looks like, and then we'll be turning down, crossing over that ridge line, kind of coming out on an angle with it. No, it was bloody uncomfortable. I mean, there's been guys that have tried to sleep in the seats in vehicles that are strapped in there. You know, if you've got the space, you try to lie on the jump seats along the side, but they're not comfortable. It's noisy. I mean, there's no insulation or whatever. You got the 4 engines going. You're wearing big ear defenders just to keep the noise from driving you insane, and they're not insulated or pressurized, so thin air, cold. Ugh. Didn't help. It was in the fall, not quite winter, but it was still cold at altitude. Temperature inside got cold. Yeah, a lot of fun. 38 miles to go. The tower's gone offline at Denver. It's ground up now. But again, we're not going into Denver International, so it doesn't really concern us. crossing over the snowy peaks in the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, definitely. Alright, so just a little while we're going to make a turn to the southeast, and that will start taking us in towards the airport. Just looking something up. Alright, 25 miles to go. So let's start getting the information in for our landing. So we're going to be doing the ILS on runway 35 right. We're going to be coming down the side of the mountains. We'll swing in from the west and pick up the approach in. We have, like I said, a 9,000 foot altitude. So the frequency for the ILS is going to be 1113. Down in here. So 1113 is in. It's going to be a heading of 350, and it is again a 35 right ILS. Minimums for the ILS straight in, it's going to be 200 foot AGL. So we'll use our radar altimeter here. We'll set our minimums for 200 feet. This approach is basically going to be climb to 7,400, right turn to 9,200 on a heading of 160, and then we'll self-vector from there for another approach. Shouldn't need it though, weather is looking good. Let's pull up the latest, see what we have. We're also on local pressures, so we're going to tune in the local pressure now. So as you can see, Kilo Alpha Papa Alpha, winds are variable at 6 knots, 10 miles of visibility, broken clouds at 10,000 feet. You can see that cloud out there. 19 degrees and 3006. So we're going to come in and we'll set 3006 on both sides. And that gives us our local pressure settings now. Alright, see this? Come on, Roger, get her set. There we go. Alright. Miles out. Bring our heading indicator around so that we can turn that on. We'll need that for when we pass over. So I want to go to a roughly 109 degree heading initially, and then we'll vector off of that as we come off of the VOR. So any last drink orders or requests of the cabin crew, get them in now, as we're going to be starting our descent shortly. Not bad, we're still bumping around a little bit, but it is fairly decent still. Alternate today is Colorado Springs Airport, which is to the south, but won't be needing that, I don't believe. Eight miles to go, we'll go into heading mode. Again, we're going to dial in about 109 until we're off of the VOR. We're in heading. There's 109 dialed in. So there's a little valley, the airport's up here, community. VOR is located down in this little dip here, so we're going to be turning and heading off down this way. Coming up on 2 miles. 2 miles will start to turn. Should be able to keep out of the dead zone. There's the swing. Oh, there's the dead zone there. Turn a little bit more in that direction. There's the VOR coming back in. Pick up the outbound now. Alright. So we're now outbound on the 109 radial. We're going to watch our distance here. We want to bring it down to that 84, about 50 miles. About 35 miles or so on the outbound. Starting down, but we are going to watch the terrain. We do have to get across some of the higher terrain we have out here. That may require us to extend slightly more than we normally would just to get around that. So as we do our prep for descent. So cabin pressurization is all normal. Fuel quantities are checked and good. Fuel transfer is off and transfer valves are closed. Altimeters are set to local pressure 3006. What was that, 16 minutes ago? We'll do a check. Yeah, 3006 is still the current. Hey, Chris. Things are going well. We're just flying down towards Denver, Colorado, landing at the municipal airport, Denver Centennial. And And it's been a pretty decent flight, bouncing around a little bit above the mountains here as we cross out of the Rockies. So we'll be landing lights and passenger signs as we get down closer to 10,000 feet, but holding the cabin as we start our descent so they can start getting everything ready in the back. We do got this cloud cover. It's broken at 10,000, so we may be dealing with that as well as we come down. Just monitoring our course and the terrain around us. As I said, we do have a 14.7 MSA right before we come out of the mountains. So we're not going to want to descend down much more than where we are at the moment. MSA, of course, minimal safe altitude. Or minimum safe altitude. This little community of Silverthorne down there by the lake. Heading basically right across this high mountain ridge to the other side. And then we'll be getting down. So we are set up on Unicom 122.8. We're going to check and see what the frequency is for Denver Centennial. It's 1189. Dial that in. Got that off of the vPilot. Set query. 1189 is now set. Again, we're going to aim to come in at the initial approach fix of Fearpy. At 9,000 feet, we're going to descend then down to 8,000, which is our intercept target platform altitude. And that is 14.5 miles out from the airport. And then we'll be descending down from there. Our airport elevation, 5,885 feet. We're going to make a right turn off once we get down there, and we are going to park up. Not a terminal per se. A lot of general aviation flies in and out of here. But we're going to park up near the control tower area. Now you can see the flat terrain out there past the mountains. That's where we're headed. We're kind of cutting diagonally across it now. Can't really start down until we get clear of this. So we may be doing a little bit of maneuvers as we lose altitude. But everything's looking good. Engines are looking good. Props are good. Temperatures, pressures are all looking fine. Temperature's holding at about minus 13 degrees out. But skies are pretty clear and there's no moisture in the air really, so we're not worried about icing. There's 30 miles. We're going to have to maintain altitude for a bit longer. Put it into beta and drop the nose. Yeah. Even putting the props into max RPM does pretty good at doing it. With this airplane, you can actually, if you go to disc, it actually flattens the blades pretty good, and you get a pretty good braking effect without going into reverse. I don't think they've got the reverse working properly either, because I never see the propeller ground range stuff come up. but this thing, hell, you put it into the disconnect and then on the brakes, and you're only using a few feet, and we got 10,000 foot runway we're heading into. I think it's 10,000. Sorry, 10,001 foot runway. Gotta remember the 1 foot. Shortly we'll, once we get over this little range in front of us, we can start down, because the terrain starts dropping away at that point, as you can see. And really, we're still pretty close. Like I said, the people in the back, they're getting a great view. Like sitting there staring out the window at the scenery as it goes by. Doesn't get much better than this. Oh, it is designed for short strips, that's for sure. Alright, we're going to be slowing it right down. I got 10,000 feet to play with, but we're going to come in at flaps 45 and nice and slow, and that'll give us time to descend down as well. So initial descent altitude, we'll crank it in. We want that 9,000 feet. We're going to switch over to heading mode now. I'm going to switch over to the localizer. And we're going to dial in our heading, which is going to be 350. There we go. So as you can see, we're coming over this last ridge, and then we're going to start down. A couple more little ridges to go, but we'll keep an eye on that as we descend. We are on 122.8. Not as much traffic in the area as there was, but we'll make our calls. There's they all vanished. Wow. There was a whole bunch in the Denver area, but they've kind of gone away off to wherever they're headed. All right. We're almost 50 miles out. I think it's there's that last ridge. Then we're gonna head down here. I think we're pretty safe to start our descent. Denver area traffic, Allegheny 32 is approximately 50 miles to the west of Denver Centenary Airport, leaving 17,000 feet, descending for the ILS runway 35 right, Denver Centenary. Alright, so 9,000 feet is set. We're going to come back on the engines now. We are in flight idle. Speed's coming back. Vertical speed mode, and we're going to start heading down about 1,000 feet per minute.
We have begun our final descent into Denver. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Thing the back, make sure they're aware. Down we come. Keep that 1,000 feet. Getting bounced around a little bit. got these lakes here. The airport's actually over here. So we're going to come down and around and then back in for the landing. Denver International's up over this way. $15,500. This is the last of the ranges in the Rockies. As we come out into Colorado here, we will be heading out to the Great Plains. Through 15,000. May have to go to flaps 15. See how we're doing. 5,000 to go. Might be all right. We don't want to get down to 8,000 because there is some 8,000 foot elevation peaks here. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on where we are. We should go past them okay. We could almost flatten out our descent if we have to. Just coming over Indian Springs Village. So this is 8,700 feet here. There's another one right in front of us, which we're just about to cross over. And we're at 13,000, so we're good. Right, 74 miles out from the VOR. We might lose that shortly as we get down into the mountains and get them between us and the signal. And there we go, 24 miles from the airport. Localizer is now just popped in. So getting a good wind push. 220 knots. Ground speed. Turn a little bit more towards the east. We're heading for that initial approach fix. As we continue to descend down to 9,000 feet. 9,000 feet when we get to that point. We've just got about 2,500 feet to go, so we're looking pretty good. It is bouncing around a bit. Just take the back again. I'm going to throw the landing lights on now. So as we're coming in, cabin pressurization is checked. Engine bleeds are set for low. Auxiliary fuel pumps are going to come on for all 4 engines. Passenger sides are on. Taxi light is now on. Landing lights are on. Altimeters are confirmed, set for local area. Engine intake levers are intake deflectors are retracted, and we'll go to maximum RPM in a second. It's coming for 10,000 feet. Don't want to come on it at too sharp of an angle. So I'm going to keep an eye out for some of this terrain. Gear wider than the runway? Yeah. That could be interesting. Alright, so the airport's up over there. We're coming out of the foothills. 10,000 feet, so we're going to switch over to the local pressure, or the local CTAF frequency of 1189. Denver Centennial traffic, Allegheny 32, 20 miles to the southwest, inbound ILS 35 right, Denver Centennial. It's 10,000 feet. Good. Alright, so as we come down, we're going to go full forward RPM on the props. We'll start that speed coming down. We're going to level off at 9,000 initially. Glide slope is in. Below the glide, localizer's in, we're fine. So I'm going to carry down here a little bit, level off. We should lose a bit more speed, and then we'll begin our turn in for the localizer capture. So there's the level off coming. Getting bounced around good here. I'm going to go just a little bit further. Turn to about a 45-degree angle. Okay, lost the glide slope. The flight model is a bit better. It performs more like it actually should. The flap model is one thing. I wish the fuel transfer is another. They got to get that sorted out. A couple other little things. But other than that, I find it a fun airplane to fly. They got to sort out the auto feather. It shouldn't be in armed as much as it is. It should only be when the props are basically fully forward. But it's good. I like it. I enjoy it. Having a lot of fun flying around with it. And it's a great airplane to do these short runs in. Oh, that's a nice little community down there. Alright, we're making our turn up to about a 50-degree angle so we can get ourselves lined up and ready for the intercept on the localizer. Speed's back to 160. We're going to come up to about 35 now. They have tweaked the fuel flow, they said, so it should be better. So there is the localizer coming in. We're now in approach mode. And because each new overlay is a new install, I'm working on their fuel flow. And it seems to be better. And the performance is a bit more realistic. So here we're lining up. Denver Centennial area traffic, Allegheny 32, 17 miles to the south on the localizer 15 right, Denver Centennial. So we're down to 150. We're gonna just about to cross Furpy, and then we can descend down to 8,000. We're just gonna hold it here. We'll just capture the glide slope. So we'll come in and do it that way. Yeah, it was a big nuisance, but it's one of the things that they upgraded. I think it was 150 they upgraded it in. But I think when they rolled it back for the flight model, they left the fuel fixes in it. So seems to all be working. So we're still at 150 knots. The power is back in flight idle. We're full up on the RPM. So we're going to start slowing the aircraft down. So in come the first notch of flaps. Holding at that 9,000 feet. Airport's dead ahead. Other side of the lake. Speed down to 140. Mitsubishi MU2. Yeah, I haven't done much on that one. I'm not interested in that airplane, so I haven't really looked into it that much. I know I had issues in real life with crashing a lot. 13.5 miles out, down to 130 knots. There's the glide slope. Yeah, the flight model on the Twin Otter wasn't that great until some fixes came out for it. Alright, we're heading down. We're bumping like crazy as well. Flaps 25. There's 11 miles. My condition levers are fully forward. Did it? Oh, I didn't hear that. It might have. I think the worst one out there, although it was a fun airplane, I wish it had to work properly, was the Boeing 247D. I did like that for doing short little local hauls, very old school, but too many issues. They didn't complete the aircraft, which was very frustrating. I think they're out of business actually, because their website's frozen the way it was 2 years ago. So there's been nothing on it. Still getting bounced around a little bit by the winds, but they've at least dropped off a bit. Let's see if there is an update. It should be. No, it's still 6 knots variable. It's not on Orbix? Yeah, could be. We did some flights in it. It was okay. I get old school airplanes. Alright, there's 7.5 miles. Gear down. And we should still be hearing the gear come down in this thing, so there's sound issues and stuff. But I like it. I like the old school. I like the fact that it throws the ATC controllers for a loop. They don't know what is going on with this thing. Alright, power coming up. Full flaps. Try to keep it at about 110 or so. Just dealing with this little bit of wind here. Yeah, it was a nice looking airplane. It's 100 knots. We're going to be landing at about 90. The arm comes on automatically once the engines are up above 3,200. You can see how it's armed right now. If I pull back, you can see it come when I get below 3,200, the arm goes off. So it's still throttle position, so it knows when you're taking off or adding on. It's supposed to only auto arm for takeoff, So if you have an issue, it will automatically feather. Sometimes it doesn't do that as well as it should. All right, 500 feet. Autopilot is off. I have control. Let's confirm that. So flaps are full down, full gear down. Airport is in sight. She's not wallowing as much, which is nice. Cabin is notified. Runway is clear. Denver Centenary area traffic. Allegheny 32. 2 mile short final 35 right. Denver Centennial. Is this Centenary? Not Centennial. Alright, so we got 4 reds, 2 whites, 2 reds. Alright, we're dragging it slightly. That power up. Flatten the approach. There we go. 2 whites, 2 reds. This thing wallows a bit too under autopilot on the ILS as you come in. Ooh, she got fast, quick. Alright, let's get her down. I don't know why she's suddenly sped up like that. Get her down. There's the reversers. She's not slowing down. I had this happen once before as well. There they go. Now the spoilers have come out and the reversers are up. I have no idea why she suddenly accelerated away like that. That is annoying.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Denver. The local time is 3:42 p.m. and it's currently about 66 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your
Something's happened. My frames are getting very chuggy here.
aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off.
I don't, something loading in? I don't know what's going on here.
We thank you for flying with us.
I'm taking a hit on frame rate like crazy here. Well, flaps are all down. I don't know, flaps go up on me? Oh yeah, maybe they did. Because that was all the way up. I don't know. Yeah, I'm plowing the field. Anyway. Yeah, my frame rate has just gone all to hell on this one. Let's get that down into feather. I think I'm gonna give myself a -1 on that landing. Yeah, like something. I wonder if something's updating in the background. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, I'm actually gonna park it right here because something's going on. But that's us down here. We're all good. Something's going on, and I've gotten horrendous frame rates, so not sure what's happening. We're gonna call it here. That's me done for the next few weeks. We'll be back on the 26th of April, but in the meantime we'll have some videos and stuff up that you guys can see while I am away. Thanks for coming by and watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one, and as I always say, no, you leave it in flight mode until you're down. Like right now, if you go outside, you can see all the spoilers are up. So now that you're on the ground, part of your checklist is you switch it over into taxi mode. And if you do that, they go down. So one of the checks before you on your pre-takeoff is you switch it to flight mode. But anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Take care, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.